Hello, hello. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Tom, have you got audio from me now?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm on twice on my phone and on my computer because my computer has no webcam on it.
Are you on Woo's or whatever that is?
No, that's Wendy.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
I think I'm under.
Yeah. Yes, I can see you there twice.
Yes.
Very good. I think Gordon's going to join us as well. I'm not sure about Jamie. And Cam wanted to join us, but he's busy running around the state delivering Cradle Mountain books to all our stocks at the moment before Christmas because he's been away in America and he hasn't had a chance to top them up yet. So he's busy working, which is good. And this screen, terrible. Terrible screen. How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Wow, I'm getting the extreme leaning back away from the iPhone picture. I have to sit forward so I don't look fat.
It's all right. You're fine. You're good. Wendy's trying to connect too. It looks like she's popping in on both formats here.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on what I proposed today about the videos? I'm leaning towards the YouTube side of things, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what Christian's done. He's just gone, it's all free.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough valuable content on there to sort of justify, or my reach being big enough to justify it.
Yeah.
Like it'll be a minimal amount and sort of like, well, who cares, you know?
Yeah.
It's not gonna, you know, bankroll the next house purchase or anything.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a line ball. If it generates enough to pay for the kind of the time you invest in marketing it all and etc., then kind of knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Christian's old charge was like $105 a year, which is like a cup of coffee a week or something like that. Or 2 cups of coffee a week or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many subscribers he had in the end, but it probably wasn't paying the bandwidth that he was using to serve up the videos.
True. Yeah, that's it. I think if you've got a big reach and you're charging minimal amount, well, it's going to be worthwhile just asking for a little bit of money, because then people are probably you're saying you're worth what you're saying, and then people are willing to pay that as well. So I think Christian and I are just so small that anything we ask is probably not.
But the flip side is if it gives people a taste of what it's like to be on a workshop and get tuition, then it's like a small marketing cost for getting extra participants.
Yep. Okay. No, it feels like that's the right thing to do. It doesn't. From an entrepreneurial point of view, it might feel like, oh, that's a good idea, just $5 a month and get people to pay for it. But then, if I was pumping out, a video a week and it was really good content, I might think about doing a pay per month.
Yeah. There's so many people doing free stuff that it's
that's the problem. It dilutes the market, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know, and there's so much good content out there for free that, again, you're then saying to yourself, well, hold on, why would I bother paying for yours when I can get so much better for no cost? Yep. Okay. Well, thank you for your feedback on that.
That's all right.
I did go down the path of setting that all up today, which wasn't hard. It's the software I subscribe to allows me to do that, just like it allows me to set up surveys like I did. And also now calendars. One thing that we've added to Aries suite of offerings, so to speak, is that when you go onto my tomputt.com page selling my artwork, it comes up with a pop-up, and rather than the pop-up asking you to enter your email address, to download a free, art buying guide or something like that, it's basically, hey, do you want to book an appointment with us? And that again is integrated into that software that it allows her to run a calendar. So I think that's a good offering as well, because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We want to attract people who want to buy artwork, and then if they want an in-home consultation or a over-the-phone consultation, we can offer that. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to incorporate that into things. Hey, Gordon, welcome. Good to see you. Wendy, I think you're there. Oh, she's on the way to the Foo Fighters concert. Oh my God.
To you from Milton Station.
Oh, that's fantastic. I can't believe you tuned in, but I'm sure it's just to say hi. But we are recording it anyway, Wendy. So we'll obviously shoot you through. And you were on the call for all of the other night, were you, when I did that Franklin presentation?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh my God. It made me want to go again. And I said immediately afterwards that I wouldn't go again, but it's like, oh, the boys are going again. I'd be really tempted.
It is infectious. I'm not sure why, but yes, it's one of those things where you go, well, I'm glad I've done that. And yet it was tough, and it was, not pleasant, and perhaps cold or sleeping on the ground and stuff like that. But then you look back at your photos and go, it'd be pretty cool to do all that again.
And now I know what to expect, to be a bit better, mentally prepared.
Yeah, that's it. You've survived one, you can survive the rest. So it is interesting. We had a few people contact us after that presentation last week and then say, oh, it's a shame you're not running it next year, because I was almost, ready to come this year, but I couldn't for various reasons. So I think it's something that will pop up on the website to sort of propose that we won't have time to do it next year. I'm away in Costa Rica, but I think Cam's keen to give it a sort of a break as well. But maybe we revisit it and we'll just see how much interest we get. And I said, it's not like it's a no. It's more like if we have enough people saying yes, we'll do it again. It'll be great. So if you'd like to join us, that'd be awesome. It'd be good to get the band back together again, so to speak. So what I think we should do tonight is I've made all of you co-hosts. So Stu, if you want to share your screen and show us a few of the images perhaps that you've worked up, and we'll do the same with you, Gordon. And then I've got a few if you want to see mine as well that I've popped up on my website. We can the purpose tonight is just to do a bit of show and tell and reminisce, but also see what your sort of key sort of 5 or so images that you like the most from the trip.
Cool. Let me open a few in Photoshop.
And you should have the ability to share your screen. It should be down the bottom because I've made everyone a co-host.
Yep. just have to remember how to do it during using Zoom, because
Down the bottom in the icons, there's a green icon that says share screen.
Cool. All right, just give me 1 sec. Getting a few open, which will make it easier. So let me say that I put way too much faith in my ability to hold a camera still, as I've discovered since getting home. Oops. Alrighty. Back to Zoom. Back to Zoom. Back to Zoom.
Myself.
All right. Share screen. All right. Share. Whiteboard. I have to share my screen. Open system preferences. So we can do it. Yes. Sorry.
You're right. That's okay. Is it not allowing you because you haven't set up the preferences or something?
Yeah, it's because it's not in the system preferences. Let me try it again, see whether it works now. Aha, got it. Tell me whether you can see that.
Yep, they're all good.
Right.
Yes, we can see your. Yep, we can see your screen.
Yep.
Right.
Cool. Alrighty. So I'm just going to keep it in this mode because then I can just kind of click through them.
It's perfect. We can see them fine.
Yeah. Cool. So I think this was Blackman's Bend from memory.
Oh, you're good to remember the name. I'm not even sure.
I had the map open while I was doing all of this.
Right.
Yeah.
From those river guide maps that I sent you at the start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they're probably the most comprehensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. So you'll see this recurring theme of me liking rock and reflections of rock as we go through.
Yeah.
So Blackman's Bend, quite like this one.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Oops. Yeah. I've got a few of this, but some of them have got different swirls, but this is the one I like the best.
Yeah, that swirl is just what makes it.
Yeah. Yeah. Gordon River.
Very nice.
I have a lot of the Arenibus.
Yes.
I feel like I want to lose this chunk here, if you can see my pointer.
Yep. I agree.
Just to eliminate it's a bit of a distraction. But I do like one of the things that struck me about on the whole trip was just the rock is amazing.
Yes.
So kind of got a few pictures of rock.
Right.
And then I just quite like this one.
I do like that one.
Yeah. With Rella looking ponderingly at the raft.
Yes.
In hindsight, that was the easy part of this portage.
So I've not done that portage before. Twice I've been dragged across the river to do the T-strainer and then drop the raft over the other side of the rock, as you know.
Yeah.
So you only like a third of the way up in terms of height when you're at that point, or not even, or?
What do you reckon, Gordo? Probably not even.
Yeah, not even.
Really? Like a quarter of the way up?
Yeah.
Goes up so much higher than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And from there, so that part you go up the cutting where Rella's standing.
Yes.
And using the rope. and after that it's tree roots.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the early days where
Oh yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
have to drag a physical raft, like not even a pack raft. You might
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
drag your whole freaking raft and gear up that,
Yeah.
that route, you know, pack all your stuff into a backpack and then drag your raft and yourself up there. It'd be
Yeah.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So quite like that one.
I
And
like those. Yeah, that is gorgeous.
yeah. So I've got to print this one. I've printed quite a few others, but I haven't printed this one yet.
That would print super nice. Hey,
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
what sort of paper would you use for that?
I'd be tempted to go, well, it's one of those ones you kind of think it would go well on a metallic paper. It probably would, but it's always hard to tell.
I was thinking something more like a pearl. Yeah, like
Yeah.
interesting. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've got it set up for gloss at the moment.
Right.
And so I might try a platine and see what it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the remind me again what the platine is? What
It's like a it's a semi-gloss,
right.
but with a faint texture. It's not as glossy as like traditional photo paper, but it's kind of one step back from that.
Yep.
But it's still a fiber rag, so
Right.
it's kind of a bit of a hybrid.
Right.
Yeah.
How many different papers do you have, or how many do you use on a regular basis?
About 3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah. About 3. And I used to have profiles for 6 when I had different types of paper with my 3880.
Yeah.
But with this printer, I've only had profiles done for 4, and I really use 3 of them.
What have you got now in printer wise?
The Shore Color P800 Epson.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's better than the 3880?
I actually like the 3880 better,
Right.
but the 3880 died. So,
Okay.
so
obviously, is that the successor of that 3880, that printer you've
yeah,
got?
kind of. It's a bit more compact, but I just kind of had a better handle on this one. I can get good results from, but I kind of learned how to print on the 3880, so I could kind of adjust things and know what I kind of had learned the hard way what it would do. And
I can imagine buying a new printer is a bit like buying a new camera and having to learn it. You know,
yeah,
it's idiosyncrasies all over again.
Yeah. What else have I got? Quite like this one. Same place, but with boats.
Yeah. Notice the majority of what you're showing us so far has come from the Lower Franklin.
Yeah,
other than
I've just got the better photos.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, here's another Arenibus one.
Yeah. I'm loving the mood in that one. The lighting on that is absolutely glorious.
Yeah, I kind of don't always darken things down. In fact, I usually do the opposite, but I like this kind of looking menacing.
I love the fact that there's very little detail in the shadows. There's enough there to suggest what's going on, but it's not jumping out at you. You're having to search in order to see the beautiful texture in the rock behind it, and that softness on the rock face with the light on it. Just complements that shadowing very nicely indeed.
Yeah, it looks big and not to be tampered with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you know, it's a bit like the best photos don't necessarily come because you've trekked through the bush for a week. It could be right next to the car park. So you know, you don't have to fiddle with these photos for hours on end. Nature might have done all the work for you. If it's spectacular in the first place, it doesn't need a lot.
Yeah.
And there's so many photos to have in that area. So
this one was in. I've got a couple of others that I might play with from this same spot, but I was just using this one on the weekend to just see what I could get out of it. Was a little bit inspired by the good result I got out of the previous one. this was in pretty much full sun, so I've gone
Wow.
heavy on the vignetting to kind of moody it down. But I've got a couple of others that the sun went in, and I might be able to work back from a slightly darker photo instead of trying to darken down a very bright one.
You would not know that that's been taken in full sun. I love the vignetting. It was the first thing I noticed. I wouldn't go any more on the vignetting.
No, yeah.
But I do like it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, one of my kind of abiding memories of the trip was just the massive rock. So yeah.
Lovely.
So they're the ones I pulled out.
You've played with so far. Have you have you gone through everything so far and edited what you want, or are you still going through that?
Still going through it. And the stuff I did with the point and shoot, I need to do in Lightroom because it's not compatible with Capture One.
Right.
And so I have to go and remind myself how to edit in Lightroom, and it's a much more kind of conscious process. So so I'll do that over the summer.
Are you normally editing in Capture One then?
Yeah, so I do it almost all the way through. I do a very little in Photoshop these days. I get most of the way there in Capture One. I use Photoshop for kind of cleaning up with the kind of I like Photoshop's kind of clone stamp and things like that, where you kind of need that proper kind of editing stuff. Capture One has it. I just like the Photoshop controls a bit better. Yeah. And even though it's meant to be a feature of Capture One, I just know I'm kind of more comfortable I'm getting the color right in Photoshop than because I print out of Photoshop rather than printing out of Capture One.
Yeah.
So I'm more comfortable with checking the color in Photoshop.
Right. Yep. Very good. Yeah. Very good. Oh, well, thank you. Can keep us up to date. I'm sure you'll post them on Instagram as you come to process more of them. So look forward to seeing those pop up. I noticed that Franklin River Rafting have been reposting some of your posts on stories, etc. So that's nice. Yeah. They're obviously noticing, seeing what you're doing there too, which is lovely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. Somebody else's turn.
What about you, Gordon? Have you got a few to show?
Yeah, I can try.
Please. All right. Yeah, it's starting to see your screen.
So
the mice have just got to run a little faster to get the wheel turning. It's not come up yet. Oh, we lost you. We didn't get the share screen. We're still seeing you.
Yeah, it said Zoom quit unexpectedly, so.
Okay. Try again. It's trying to again.
Yeah, we live out in the sticks, so NBN means no bloody network out here. I'm still on ADSL 2+ because that's the best we can get.
Right. It's still trying to share your screen. We'll see how we go. If nothing else, you could always email me a few and I could share them from my screen if you wanted.
Gordo's frozen. I think he's probably going to get the unexpectedly quick message again any second.
Yep, he's probably had to quit and then jump back in again. How's this weather we've been having? Right. It was so hot down here this morning that by this afternoon we went, nah, we'll put the aircon on, and we've got evaporative cooling.
Yeah, doesn't work in this weather.
Oh, we closed up the house and the flooring was like we had just mopped it. The whole house pretty much tiled, and it was like an ice skating rink. Terrible. So we just quit that after about an hour and opened up the house again, and it's all dried out. But yeah, you're right. We should order that. The evaporative cooling doesn't work in the humid heat like we're having, does it?
No.
Needs
It
says,
tell you what,
says host disabled.
Hold on, I'm going to get you
on
back
the
in
screen.
because, yeah, you're good now. See if you can share now, Gordon. You're the co-host, so you should be able to share now. Go on, Stu.
yeah, did I tell you what Christian and I did on Friday?
No?
It was 34 degrees. We rented mountain bikes and went cycling
Oh,
to
did you really?
take photos around Docklands. It was good fun until the wind got really strong, and
Right.
we got some okay photos.
Oh, good, good.
Just down the river, and oh, here we go. Good.
Yeah, we've got you, Gordon. We can see your Lightroom. Thank you. That's great.
No.
No, we can see it.
Zoom just quit again.
Oh, we can see you and we can hear you.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I think we're losing your screen now. As I said, if you want to export those files and then he might not be able to hear me.
Yeah, apparently it's not going to work.
Do you want to? Do you want
never use Zoom at work?
Do you want to export those photos out of Lightroom and email them to me, and then I could share them on my screen?
Yeah, but that's going to take
Too long?
it'll take too long.
All right. We could any other way? I'm trying to think. It works better on Teams, does it?
I don't know, but I've never tried sharing from Lightroom before, so
Oh, it's not so much that, it's just whether Zoom can handle
The bandwidth.
the bandwidth with your internet connection there. If you want to do that at some stage, I'll share them with everybody if you like.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yep.
just maybe what I'll try and do, I'm exporting some of the ones that I've looked at, and I haven't even got much past the Renibus.
All right. Oh, that's
so
good.
what I did was went through everything, and my usual workflow is put 3 stars on them because I think I might want to edit them. Then I started looking at them and put a few 4 stars in, but
Yep.
I haven't really edited much.
Okay.
It's still exporting.
You export, and I'll in the meantime I'll just show a few of mine, and if they get exported, you can get them across to me. We can show them off. How does that sound?
Yep.
Okay, let me go on to mine. Not this one. Not that one. Oh yeah, I'm here. That's what I want. So you can see them all here on my website now. I uploaded them because Mary got sick of asking for them. So I've combined just this year's and last year's. So I'll flick through a few of these. That was one of my favorites from down the Gordon River. You can see my screen, can't you?
Yep.
One Yeah, so when I'm shooting those pictures, I kind of like the layering, but also too just trying to find some sort of hero of the shot, some sort of distinctive tree that stands out that's got a nice shape, which I found that one did in particular. So I liked that. This bubble shot was probably something a little different for me. This was right next to the waterfall at Rock Island Bend when we were sort of waiting for the sun to bugger off, and we were up in that gully there, and I just noticed all these little bubbles floating towards us as I was sitting there in the middle of the stream. So I just used a longer lens just to focus on one in particular, and I kind of like that. I'm only just noticing it now, but it's actually got
Yeah,
a
reflection.
reflection of the canopy in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only just noticed that. So if that was to print and you printed it bigger, you might see more detail in that, which would be pretty cool. But I also like shooting things the more intimate landscapes with a shallow depth of field, because obviously a lot of the stuff that I shoot is not with a shallow depth of field. So
Yeah,
it's nice to use that shallow depth of field to really direct the eye on where you want it to go. So yeah, I like seeing that sort of stuff. This is obviously from the log jam, or somewhere near there. I think it was. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Actually, it wasn't log jam. It was another one, I think. Anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, that was that little cascade that Cam sort of found, which was super nice. And I preferred this sort of further back, more context, and this foreground with these nice leading lines, particularly these two lines coming out of the bottom left and right hand corners of the frame, just to lead your eye towards the back there. And in fact, you can see a little bit of the river up the top there as well, which is nice. So yeah, that was a nice color. I really like these more intimate style of shots. That was alongside the Erebus up in that sort of higher vantage point section. I think Gordon, you pointed that fern out to me, and I like the way it's complemented with those that lichen in the top right hand corner. That was I'm not 100% happy with this. This is the foam around our camp there at Rafters Basin. I think it probably just needs to be sort of selectively lightened in sections in particular, and maybe just lightening not the background here underneath the water, but just these individual strands of white, just to bring a bit more life to it. It's a bit flat at the moment, to be honest. Yeah, I really like this one. This is around camp there on the Lower Franklin with one of those giant myrtles, I think it is.
Yeah.
And the way that light was streaming through, I showed you that, Stewie, and you were like, yeah. I've already shot that. So
I have. Mine doesn't currently look as good as this, but I haven't worked on it yet.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll come up well. I haven't worked that a lot, to be honest. Can't remember what I did to it. And that's at the same spot, but just cropping out the boats in the foreground and just using that, just being able to see to the back there with that lighter, obviously, section of the cliff. This was, who pointed this out to me? This was alongside one of the camps just before we got into Great Ravine. What's it called? It's named after those two canoeists anyway. That larvae, again, I like the shallow the field to it, and I love the background and the soft lighting on that, for example. So that's quite nice. Several of the ones, Interlude Creek, it's called, at Rafters Basin, where we were shooting there, Stewie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I was really happy with a lot of stuff out of Livingston's cutting. I took enough, but just I don't know. It just didn't. I think they're quite dark, so maybe I just need to lighten these edges or something. But
it was a combination of really light out the back and then really dark on the walls.
Yeah, it's just something about it that's not grabbing me. So if you've got any ideas on how I could make that better.
I've kind of gone the other way. When you're done, I'll flip mine up. But I've kind of gone the other way and darkened, and then so you're kind of drawn into the stuff in the background rather than the foreground so much.
Right.
I'm not completely happy with mine either, but it'll at least give a feel for the.
Let me see. You've darkened the foreground, you've darkened the foreground and lightened the background even more, or you've done the opposite.
Really darkened the sides.
Yep.
So that I'll show you in a minute. Once you're done with yours, I'll pull mine up.
No dramas. Hey, this was not really relevant, but this was last year at that same spot where those logs were. So I think the river was a bit higher where we were this time around.
Yeah.
It's ironic because the majority of the trip was higher than what it was from
Yeah.
last year, but here it was lower, so you could get and sort of walk around those sections there. But that's a bit
Oh,
irrelevant. This is one of my favorite sort of in terms of lighting from walking back from Rock Island Bend that morning that Jamie and I went down to photograph it at sunrise. So you've got Newlands Cascade here on the right, and that
Yeah.
beautiful light streaming up the chasm there, which I enjoyed. That was quite special. I think if you're sort of saying to yourself, "Oh wow, that's nice," then you should be taking a photo. This one again from a similar spot where that little cascade was. I just really enjoyed the color of the rocks, and I love the raindrops in the water there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I think that's quite a nice sort of intimate one without being too busy.
Raindrops really make it, funnily enough.
So do. I'll show you another one from last year. I've posted that online, and that's had really good response. I think it's very cliche, but it doesn't feel like Australia. It feels very sort of Canadian or North American,
Yeah.
something like that. But that's that. I think people can feel what that scene was like without having been there. I think the serenity of that one is what really appeals. This was another one, the raindrops you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not really happy with that raindrop there now, but that was from last year, just mucking around at Newlands Cascade. This is probably one of my favorites from the Erebus.
Yeah.
I just really love that contrast between.
Yeah.
I feel like it's two photos that you've got the foam on one side and the rocks on the other. And I really love the detail that you can see in amongst the rock there underneath the water. So I enjoyed that one. So this was Newlands last year, by the way.
Wow.
Looking up from camp. So they rafted that. So you can see how it's there's not a lot of
Yeah.
rocks in between. That was probably a meter higher, at least maybe 2 meters
Yeah.
higher, kissing down with rain, as you can see,
Yeah.
higher than what we had it there. Not sure that there's much else that really stood out for me from this year, other than I think I shot better in the Lost World because I wasn't chasing all of those shots up the canyon, which were really dark. I felt like this year I sort of stood back a bit and got more of these sort of general scenes with a lot of green in them.
Yeah.
Because I did find that those ones from last year were very dark.
Yeah.
Very hard to get a good shot in there because it is so dark. And then let's finish off with this one here, which is that I must get the name of it, but that's that waterfall that sits alongside of Rock Island Bend.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed that perspective from that angle because you get to see the other tier of that waterfall in the background, albeit it's quite well hidden by everything else going on here. I think in an ideal world you wouldn't have that tree there,
Yeah.
for example. It'd just make it a bit clearer, but I think the composition of that image just works quite well.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's the sort of some of my favorites from this year. Stewie, did you want to flick your screen?
Yeah, let me track them down.
Keep an eye on your email, Tom. I've it's left my outbox, so it's strapped
Okay.
to carrier pigeon. Should be on its way.
I'll check now. Yes, I've got them here. So let me
Yeah, do those first while I find mine.
I just grabbed only grabbed 5 photos, so
it's all right. That's good. It's better than nothing.
I had about 20 there, but it's still there's a bit of a selection, so and it's not far past Erebus. So
all right, well here you go. What I'll do is I'll do that. I'll go back to Zoom. I'm ready to share mine if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Share screen. Here you go. So Gordon, these are the ones you sent me.
yeah,
Like that.
Yeah, some nice detail shots. That's around the Erebus from that top down approach. Isn't it? Yep, lovely. I like. I think with
forgot that I had my signature on them.
oh no, that's fine. That's good. I like that you can't see a lot of detail in the blacks. I think with some of mine there was a bit of reflection off the sides and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I cropped a little bit off the top that had a little bit of that. So,
yeah, you don't need any of that. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You just want the black and the white.
It looks like a horse or a donkey's head.
This one,
Yeah.
I haven't had enough to drink to see that yet, but
It's ears pointing out, head down with ears, big ears pointing out to the. Maybe it's
Oh,
a
right. Keep going.
This one was obviously that really old hue and pine. I've got about 4 or 5 of these, some tighter, some wider, some with that log more strongly in
Yes.
the foreground. One that's even backed off, I know, more tightly on those ferns at the base of the tree. So you get more detail in that base of the tree. So this is just one of about 4 that I'm playing with at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's all there. I just think it's a bit dark on my screen, so maybe just lighten it, particularly in the middle and around the base of the tree there would work really nice. But the composition's spot on.
So yeah, there's a
I'm playing with that one as well. I haven't got mine right yet.
yeah. And I've got about 4 of them. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's potential in that shot. It's just choosing the right composition.
yeah,
But I think that's the right comp. That's really nice. Not too much of that sky to distract you.
yeah, and the white bit of the timber sort of points into the sky. So
Yeah.
I was thinking of cropping the sky, but it sort of then you lose the curve of that other
Yeah.
coming out of the tree.
I like it. I think you leave it as is. I made the mistake of, I think, cropping it too tight and you don't get to see the sky in it. Kind of feels like you're only getting half of the story
Yeah.
because I've not included enough of the tree at the top. Mm.
And this one may or may not be any good because it's got those reflection bits in it.
I don't mind that.
Z, you stop.
No, Molly, it's okay. Now my dog's barking because I heard your dog's Stewie. Or was that your dog's, Gordon?
Yeah, well, one of them's going off at something. Probably the neighbours walking over their place.
Right. You want to say anything more about this one?
No, not particularly. It was just one of the selections of patterns and just those bits that are looking a little bit bluish, which is reflected sky. I wasn't sure whether that's good, bad, or
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
I think it makes it up.
If you just desaturated the blue, you probably wouldn't notice it as
Yeah.
much.
yeah, I haven't really done much more on these than maybe crop them a little bit, and or maybe I didn't even crop them, but yeah, not really much editing.
No, that's fine. Doesn't need it. This is lovely.
Yeah.
I love that light coming off the there. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was. I think we spoke about it when we looked at this one, just trying to make sure that the leaves didn't come out too hot with the exposure. But
We did talk about that. Yeah, for sure.
I was going to try. I don't know whether the background needs to be blurred anymore or not. Probably not. But
You could try the image blur that's in the latest Lightroom. That
I
does very
clicked
well.
on it and it wanted to teach me how to use it, and I thought, no, I haven't got enough time.
Don't tell me what to do.
So all I've done, I did put a bit of vignette on it, about 30.
I think that's nice. I think it feels a bit dark on my screen, so you could certainly lighten it a little more and maybe try a square crop rather than that rectangular one. But the color is sensational, and that depth of field is spot on.
Yeah.
The depth of field is just glorious. It's right on point. But I definitely try that lens blur as well, because if anything, this right hand side with all of those, it's a bit messy. yeah, it's a bit distracting, but it's only minor. I think everything else is really nice for sure. Even if you cropped it as almost a vertical as well, you wouldn't necessarily need those
Yeah,
leaves on
true.
that there. You could crop it down
Yeah.
that point there and get rid of most of that. But I think at the moment it's a little diluted. So yeah, look forward to seeing that once it's done. But that's just glorious color. Wow. And what I found with mine is that they were a bit too hot, and so it distracted from the detail in the leaf or the flower.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, you probably figured out how I normally shoot now. I tend to be underexposed rather than, because I've always like if you're looking at in the viewfinder of the camera, I'm probably 1 or 2
Yep.
bars underexposed.
it's a
Most-
metaphor for life. Really good for you.
But sorry.
It's a metaphor for life for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sometimes I expose myself.
A little underexposed, just going
Yeah.
about things quietly. Yeah, that's nice. I
A
really
little
like that.
bit dark.
A bit dark, yes, we know about that. We know that from your musical taste. And I hope I didn't move on too soon there with that one.
No, you're right.
And this one.
Yeah, I actually liked it that the colours sort of matched up a little bit from orange, the gold and the orange. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've got other ones and similar ones to the ones you had. Yeah, I've got a heap to play with that I need to do a bit more. So
Well,
this
I guess,
is more of a happy snap than anything, but it gives a bit of context of scale as well.
Yeah.
I like seeing those. And what I think you get to do now, everybody, is that you get to go through your images and enjoy and relive the moments, but also to discover what you perhaps have forgotten that you've photographed, and then
Yeah,
finding those pieces of gold in amongst everything that you shot.
I like the big slab of rock kind of towards the top above Cam's head. It's kind of when you see the humans compared to the rock, you just realize just how big and muscly it is.
Yeah.
yeah, and they could be maybe Valhalla's behind them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a very short selection, but yeah, there's so much. I think I've tagged about 200 photos to
All
to
right.
consider for editing, which is my normal method, and they usually get culled quite a bit more. But,
Right.
and I think I said to you, Tom, afterwards, I think I only took between the point and shoot and the D850, I only took about 1,000 photos.
No, that's the thing. I mean,
So I spent a heap of time just looking.
yeah, you won't take a heap of photos, but what you get is really unique. So I hope you find that as you go through your images, that you don't need to be shooting all the time, but when you do get the camera out, there's some really unique, beautiful perspectives down that river.
Yeah.
Showing off the beauty of the place and showing you images that you probably wouldn't have seen before. So that makes it all the more special as well.
Yeah. So when I get my act together, I'll edit some more and probably put some on Instagram.
Yeah, well, we look forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
No rush, but if you get the chance, it'll be lovely to see more of them. And as I said, it's nice to be able to go back and look through those images and relive the moments and find those images that you've perhaps forgotten you'd taken already.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, thanks guys for jumping on. If that's all, we'll call it a night. But Wendy's commented that she found those lovely.
I'll show you 2 more.
Yes,
Tom.
sorry, Stu.
No, that's all right.
Go, please.
Before I forget.
Forgot.
Share. All right. This one's actually not sharp, which really bugs me. I like it.
What's not sharp about it? The whole thing, or just in the foreground?
The background's not sharp.
Right.
which really bugs me. And it might work okay when I darken it down though.
Did you take more than one?
No,
Bugger.
because the boat was turning around and
Yeah.
yeah,
And the shutter speed was a bit too
Yeah.
slow.
yeah. So
We'll have to go
this
back.
is this is the one I was talking about.
Yep.
Where I just it's not so much that I darkened the sides, I just didn't brighten them out.
Yeah.
And I've got another one. It's I think it's still sitting in Capture One. I haven't exported it as a JPEG yet. Where it's I've done it in landscape and got the same effect. I think the other one is slightly better because this gap is not so big at the top. I was a little bit off to the side.
I actually really like what you've done there, and you've taught me something. Because normally I would exclude the sky because I'd find it's too bright, but I think it actually
Yeah.
gives you the sense of perspective and opens up the picture to be brighter, which is what I don't like about mine, is that it's too dark. So you've taught me a lesson there to just bring it back a bit, and don't be afraid to include that, and you can always crop it out later. But if you haven't got it in the first place, well, you can't include it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this one, which I don't think I showed before,
You popped
which
that
is-
on Instagram though, didn't you?
yeah, I did.
I
The-
really
I-
fucking enjoyed that one, and I was like, there is a good angle of that ladder.
Yeah. Well,
No.
I've done a print of this, and the on the print the white at the bottom, the moving water is not so prominent, which is funny because it's printed off the same file as the JPEG. It's just the impression when it's on paper doesn't it's not so bright, and but it's ironic that one of only two man-made structures we saw for the whole trip is one of my better photos.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show you how much they make as a sort of a attraction to, or a focal point, I should say,
Yeah,
in your image. Because you can imagine if you took that ladder out, you'd kind of be going,
where do I look? Yeah,
what am I looking at? It's really busy, and why did you
Yeah.
take that photo in the first place? But that really draws your eye into the rest of the image and tells a
yeah,
story.
it's true, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real nice. And is that literally your tripod set up in front of your tarpaulin there?
No, I've got one of them as well, but this was down at just slightly above river level.
Right.
Yeah, but that was I was looking just slightly down on this from my bedroom.
Right. No, that's very nice indeed. I love it.
Yeah.
Light hitting the top of that ladder is sublime.
Yeah, it's just that area.
You could probably play with that a bit more. I actually, if I was to comment, it feels like the top half of that image is perhaps a little hazy.
Yeah,
A little bit misty. I think it could add some more contrast or dehaze or however you want to do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you could do several versions of treatments of that. You could make it really sort of dark and moody and just hone your eye just in on that ladder and have it be a real focal point with a heavy vignette or
Yeah.
darkening the whole picture just with a selective lasso around the ladder itself.
Mm.
So there you go. Bit of a
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon with a bottle of wine type. And you'll either love it or you hate it,
Yeah.
depending on where you go. But it's got a lot
I
of
actually find that the further I get from being there, that I don't know whether the better, but certainly the easier I find it to process the photos, because you're reacting to the pixels that you've got rather than the memory of what you saw.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, isn't it? It's an interesting point of topic. I'm one that tends to process immediately because I'm excited to see what I got.
Yeah, I do that as well, but I often find it easier when,
Yes.
or maybe not easier, but months later I will find photos in there that I overlooked when I just uploaded all my pictures.
Yeah.
And I know other professional photographers who follow that philosophy, or shall I say practice, where they won't look at images for maybe 6 or 12 months. They've gone to Iceland and done an aerial shoot and they haven't even looked at those photos yet. And you're like, what do you mean you haven't looked at them? I'd have them up online already, but they need that separation. They need to detach
Yeah.
them emotionally from the moments so that then they can then process their images objectively
Yeah.
and edit and find the ones that they're reacting to from a non-emotional level. They're looking at them, as you said, they're looking at pixels on a screen as opposed to, oh yeah, remember that, or oh shit, that didn't work out. That's really disappointing. And then, you know, getting down on themselves, for example.
Yeah.
So,
It's a bit like the judging methodology you described the other day, Tom, letting people take the ones that got decent votes and go and think about them for a while and live with them for a while before.
yes. Yeah, because there's always images that'll create a first impression, but then some
Yeah.
you need to sit with for a while.
bit
Or
like
some
music.
you need to actually have explained to you so you can then come to appreciate what they're saying. And that's why, you know, I'm sure the AOPP used to have that live judging panel where you had 5 very different judges who, and, you know, somebody could see something that the others wouldn't and explain it. And then you get educated about it and come to like the image more because you understand what's being said, for example, or why the photographer perhaps has taken it the way they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Very good. All right.
Cool.
Thanks, guys, for that. It's been lovely to catch up. It's been great to see some of your selections. I'd love to see more. So if you get the chance to pop them up online in the near future, that'd be great to see. And
Groovy.
thanks for joining us.
Right.
You had a great time on the trip. I think the feedback's been really good. I think it was amazing and we were fortunate to have some very good conditions. So I wanted to thank Cam once again for organising all of that, and thank the guides, Rella and Max, who are amazing and got us down there safely. And of course, Jamie, who's not on the call, for coming along and providing some entertainment, of course. Yeah, so hopefully, maybe one day you decide that you want to do it again. And that would be fun, that's for sure. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I'm not sure what it is, but perhaps it's a bit like going to Africa and seeing elephants and lions and stuff like that. You can never see enough of them. That river, I don't care how many times you've been down it. It's always going to be special going in through the Arenibus and seeing the Great Ravine and all those sorts of memories. It's certainly something very unique.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. It was hopefully not once in a lifetime, but it was a highlight of a lifetime, put it that way.
Very good. Yeah, well, I'm pleased to hear that. And I'm pleased that you guys got the opportunity to do that. That's for sure. All right. Well, have a safe, Chrissy. If I don't speak to you beforehand, we'll see you hopefully very soon.
All right.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
later again. Enjoy the gig, Wendy.
Yes. See you, Wendy.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.